Happy to speak on these statements, Minister. Ireland has a rich history of challenging adversity as well, you know, Minister, and fighting against injustice. Included in these struggles is our right to exist as an independent state and the recognition of our citizens' civil rights and protections. Since the foundation of our state, our country has embraced change. Part of this change has been the social and maturing development of our society. We have cast off the historic shackles that may have nurtured the idea that we were an insular people. Ireland today is a country that has embraced diversity. We are increasingly becoming a multicultural society. The Irish people understand diversity, and they see it as a strength, not a weakness. Diversity enriches our communities, it fosters innovation, and it contributes to greater inclusion. This ultimately enhances our social progress and the well-being of our people. The LGBTQI journey has been in constant travel. We should acknowledge the political leadership required and demonstrated over many years in Ireland to progress the needs of our LGBTQI community. The efforts taken to promote recognition of diversity in our society also. Tribute in abundance is required for the contributions and the relentless work of Senator David Norris, who led one of the first notable actions against the criminality of homosexuality back in the 1970s. And he went on to bring a case in 1988 to the European Court of Human Rights. His case against the Irish state over the constitutional status of the criminalisation of certain homosexual acts was subsequently won. It was the European Convention on Human Rights and the European Court of Human Rights that ensured the state vindicated those rights. This ultimately forced our Irish government to take action. And 30 years ago, on the 24th of June 1993, we officially passed legislation which finally decriminalised homosexuality. This important step has changed the lives of many people in our society. Prior to this, homosexual men in Ireland were ostracised and criminalised simply because of their sexual orientation. These laws caused immeasurable harm to many. The subsequent decriminalisation was hard won, but it has been a huge step in developing Ireland's ability to progress towards greater equality, greater inclusivity. In 2015, the Irish nation again stood up and took a leadership role in terms of delivering equality by taking to the polls to vote in favour of same-sex marriage. Yet again, Little Ireland led the way internationally by becoming the first country in the world to legalise same-sex marriage, the first country to approve the enduring love that can exist between same-sex couples and formally recognising that in legislation. Ireland's strong legal framework further supports the eradication of discrimination. Our country has implemented comprehensive anti-discrimination legislation such as the Employment Equality Acts and the Equal Status Acts. These laws prohibit discrimination based on gender preference and sexual orientation in various areas, including in employment, in education, in housing and in public services. However, this does not mean that more should not be done towards delivering a more tolerable and equal society. Challenges remain, and these include the harassment and violence against members of the LGBTQI community. An Garda Síochána published figures on hate crimes and hate-related incidents reports in 2022, and unfortunately it shows a 29% increase in reported hate crimes and hate-related incidents. That means that 582 crimes were recorded. However, many more probably go unreported. There should be no place for discrimination in our society. Discrimination is not only a violation of human rights, it also toxically undermines the strength and cohesion of our society as a whole. There can be no condoning it. It always, in my opinion, comes from a place of perceived strength and power. It is corrosive, it is blind to injustice, and it is largely fostered from a lack of knowledge, in other words, ignorance. We as legislators must continue to promote inclusivity and respect for all individuals in legislative changes. We must continue to strive toward a future where discrimination has no place and where the ideals of our Constitution may be realised in that all are considered equal and all in society, regardless of their orientation, sexual preference or gender identity, can thrive on an equal footing as all other citizens. And just to finish, Minister, can I further endorse what you have said around conversion therapy and the steps that you're proposing to take with respect to that? I think it's very important legislation and must come into the House as soon as possible, and I think we'll get resounding endorsement from this Parliament. Go to market.